How are you guys doing? Today is Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Monday, November 15th, just to take a quick snapshot of where we are in the calendar year. With the MLB season over and awards still yet to come out, football and basketball are well underway as college football is almost over with about a month left. The NFL just got finished with its 10th Monday of the season. The NBA basketball season is about a month in. College basketball is about a week in. Not to mention that hockey is about a week ahead of basketball. And not to mention that the Winter Olympics are also in a few months. So, of course, that is also on the radar as well. So, starting with college, because there were no college football games, starting with college basketball, looking at the ranked teams in the nation, starting with the top-ranked college basketball team in the nation. The Gonzaga Bulldogs hosted the unranked Alcorn State Braves, and Gonzaga was able to pull off an 84-57 win after they outscored Alcorn State by 24 points in the first and by another 3 in the third. The first-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs were led in scoring by their starting guard, Julian Strother. Their sophomore out of Las Vegas would go on to finish with 18 points of his own. He would score 18 points in 23 minutes as he shot 7 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and he made one of his 2 free throw attempts on the night. With this win, the first-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs are 3-0, and with this loss, unranked Alcorn State is 0-4. Taking a look at what's going on with the second-ranked basketball team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins hosted unranked Long Beach State, the Beach, and the Bruins would end up beating the Beach 80-79 as UCLA outscored Long Beach by 3 in the first half and by 18 in the second. The Bruins were led in scoring by their starting guard, Johnny Juzang. He finished with 25 points in 28 minutes. He would go on to shoot 11 for 21 from the field. Their starting guard, Jules Bernard out of LA, would go on to finish with 22 points of his own as he added 5 rebounds and 7 assists. With this win, or before I get into this, Bernard shot 8 for 11 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the second-ranked UCLA Bruins are now 3-0, and with this loss, unranked Long Beach State is 1-1 on the year. Their only loss being handed to them by the second-best team in the nation. Looking at what's going on with the ninth-ranked team in the nation, the Baylor Bears hosted the unranked Nichols Colonels, and Baylor was able to beat Nichols 89-60 as they outscored Nichols by 20 in the first half and by 9 in the second. The ninth-ranked Baylor Bears were led in scoring by their guard off the bench, L.J. Cryer, their sophomore out of Texas. He finished with 20 points of his own and 2 steals in 24 minutes. He shot 7 for 9 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3, and he made his only free throw attempt of the day. With this win, the reigning champs, 9th-ranked Baylor Bears are now 2-0 this season. And with this loss, unranked Nichols is 3-1, their only loss being against the defending champs of college basketball. Taking a look at what's going on with the 10th-ranked team in the nation, the Illinois Fighting Illini faced off against the unranked Marquette Golden Eagles. And unranked Marquette was able to beat a top 10 team, winning it 67-66, as this would come down to the final possession. The 10th-ranked Illinois Fighting Illini were led in scoring by their starting guard, Trent Frazier, out of Florida. Their senior would go on to finish with 23 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple of steals in 37 minutes. He shot 7 for 10 from the field, 6 for 10 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. The unranked Marquette Golden Eagles were led by their starting senior guard out of Baltimore, Daryl Morsell. Daryl Morsell would finish with 21 points and 5 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 7 for 12 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3 as well. And with this win, the unranked Marquette Golden Eagles are 3-0. And with this loss, 10th-ranked Illinois is 2-1 to start their season. Taking a look at what's going on with the 19th ranked team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes hosted unranked Bowling Green, and the Buckeyes would beat the Falcons 89-58. They won by 31 after outscoring Bowling Green by 23 in the first half and by 8 in the second. The 19th ranked Buckeyes were led in scoring by their starting forward E.J. Liddell and then their guard off the bench, Michi Johnson Jr. Johnson Jr. off the bench finished with 13 points and 4 steals in 25 minutes. He would go on to shoot 5 for 12 from the field and 3 for 8 from 3. E.J. Liddell would finish with 13 points in 20 minutes as he shot 6 for 8 from the field. With this win, the 19th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes are 3-0. With this loss, the unranked Bowling Green Falcons are 1-2. That's what's going on with college basketball. Taking a look at what's going on in the NFL as we transition to what's going on in pro sports in the States. The San Francisco 49ers hosted the Los Angeles Rams, and in this NFC West matchup, the Niners would give the Rams their first home loss of the season, beating the Rams 31-10. The Niners outscored the Rams 21-7 in the first half and 10-3 in the second. The Los Angeles Rams were led by their starting quarterback, Matthew Stafford, out of Georgia. He threw for 243 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He also ran for an additional yards. That's 244. The Rams' leading receiver was Cooper Kupp. He finished with 11 receptions for 122 yards. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Troy Reeder would be the Rams' leading tackler for the day. Looking at how the 49ers fared, they were led by their starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. He threw for 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Niners' leading carrier was Elijah Mitchell. He had 27 carries for 91 yards. Their leading receiver was Deebo Samuel. He had 5 receptions for 97 yards and a touchdown. Their elite tight end, George Kittle, would finish with 5 receptions for 50 yards as he had a touchdown for himself. On the defensive side of the ball, Azeez Al-Shaair and Fred Warner would lead the team in tackles as they both had 8 of them. Jimmy Ward would finish with 2 interceptions for himself as one of them ended up being a pick 6. He also had 2 tackles as well. With this win, the San Francisco 49ers are 4-5, and the Los Angeles Rams are 7-3 with this loss as Week 10 in the NFL concludes. Week 11 will, of course, pick up on Thursday as it will be a rematch of Super Bowl 51 where the Falcons lost to Tom Brady and the Patriots, except Tom Brady's not going to be there, so we'll see what happens in Atlanta. Taking a look at what's going on in the NBA from yesterday's matchup. Starting off in Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks hosted the Orlando Magic from within their division. The Hawks would end up beating the Magic 129-111. The Hawks outscored the Magic by 14 points in the second half to run away with this win. On the losing end of this matchup, the Magic were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Cole Anthony. Anthony finished with 29 points, 11 assists, 2 steals, and 6 turnovers in 36 minutes. He shot 11 for 19 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. The Atlanta Hawks were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Trae Young, and their starting power forward, John Collins. Young finished with 23 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 turnovers in 30 minutes. He shot 9 for 21 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and 2 for 4 from the foul line. John Collins finished with 23 points, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in 31 minutes. He shot 6 for 12 from the field and 11 for 14 from the foul line. The Hawks starting center, Clint Capella, finished with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks in 34 minutes. He shot 8 for 9 from the field and 4 for 6 from the foul line. The Hawks starting shooting guard, Bogdan Bogdanovic, would finish with 20 points in 29 minutes. He shot 7 for 11 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 7 for 4 from the foul line, or 2 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Atlanta Hawks are 6-9. With this loss, the Orlando Magic are 3-11 at this point in the season. Taking a look at what's going on in Cleveland, the Cavaliers hosted the Boston Celtics. The Celtics would end up beating the Cavs 98-92. 92 after they outscored Cleveland by 8 in the second half after trailing by 2 at halftime. On the losing end, the Cavaliers were led in scoring by their Spanish point guard, Ricky Rubio, who was starting, by the way. Ricky Rubio finished with 28 points and 6 rebounds in 37 minutes. He would shoot 9 for 20 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the foul line. Their small forward off the bench from Turkey, Cedi Osman, would finish with 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in 31 minutes. He shot 10 for 17 from the field and 6 for 12 from 3. The Boston Celtics were led by their elite starting small forward, Jason Tatum. He finished with 23 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks in 36 minutes. He shot 7 for 20 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the Boston Celtics are now 7-7. With this loss, the Cleveland Cavaliers are now 9-6. Taking a look at what's going on in Detroit, the Pistons hosted the Sacramento Kings. The Kings would end up beating the Pistons 129-107 as the Kings outscored the Pistons by 19 points in the first quarter and then a 5 in the second to take a 24-point lead at the half. The Detroit Pistons on the losing end at home were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Saddiq Bey out of Villanova. Saddiq Bey would finish with 28 points and 2 steals in 28 minutes as he shot 9 for 17 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the foul line. Their starting point guard, the number 1 overall pick, Cade Cunningham, would finish with 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals in 35 minutes. He went on to shoot 10 for 20 from the field, 5 for 11 from 3 as well. On the winning end of this matchup, the Sacramento Kings were led in scoring by their shooting guard off the bench, Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield finished with 22 points in 24 minutes as he shot 8 for 14 from the field and 6 for 10 from 3. With this win, the Sacramento Kings are 6-8. With this loss, the Detroit Pistons are now 3-10. Taking a look at what's going on in our nation's capital, the Washington Wizards faced off against the New Orleans Pelicans and were able to pull off a big win at home. I was actually able to watch this one. They outscored the Pelicans by 22 in the second half in order to win the game by 5. The New Orleans Pelicans on the losing end were led in scoring by their elite starting small forward out of Duke, Brandon Ingram. He finished with 31 points and 5 rebounds and 4 assists in 32 minutes. He shot 9 for 23 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 11 for 12 from the foul line. The Washington Wizards were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Spencer Dinwiddie. Spencer Dinwiddie finished with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals in 34 minutes. He shot 8 for 20 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 7 for 10 from the foul line. With this win, the Washington Wizards are 10-3. With this loss, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 2-13. Taking a look at what's going on what went down in Madison Square Garden, the New York Knicks hosted the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks would beat the Pacers 92-84, winning by 8 after they outscored the Pacers 23-10 by 13 in the fourth quarter to overcome their deficit and win this game. The Indiana Pacers were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Malcolm Brogdon. He finished with 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 9 for 20 from the field and 2 for 3 from the foul line. Their starting power forward out of Gonzaga, Domantas Sabonis, would finish with 21 points and 15 rebounds in 40 minutes. He shot 8 for 15 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and 2 for 5 from the foul line. The New York Knicks on the winning end were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Kemba Walker, and their shooting guard off the bench, Isaiah Quickley. Walker finished with 16 points and 2 assists in 20 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field. Manuel Quickley would finish with 16 points and 5 rebounds in 23 minutes. He shot 5 for 9 from the field, a perfect 4 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the New York Knicks are 8-6. With this loss, the Indiana Pacers are now 6-9 at this point in the year. Taking a look at what went down in Dallas, the Mavericks hosted the Denver Nuggets, and the Mavericks were able to pull off a 111-101 win. They would pull off a 10-point win after they outscored the Nuggets by 5 in the third and by 14 in the fourth, outscoring the Nuggets by 19 in the second half to get this win. On the losing end, the Denver Nuggets were led in scoring by the 2021 NBA MVP, Nikola Jokic. He finished with 35 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks in 37 minutes. He shot 15 for 26 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 3 for 6 from the foul line. The Dallas Mavericks on the winning end were led in scoring by their starting center out of Latvia, the former All-Star Kristaps Porzingis. He finished with 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in 33 minutes. He shot 11 for 20 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, Luka Doncic, would finish with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists, as well as 2 steals. As the former Real Madrid product, shot 9 for 23 from the field in 38 minutes. He shot 2 for 7 from 3 and 3 for 5 from the foul line. With this win, the Dallas Mavericks are 9-4. With this loss, the Denver Nuggets are now 9-5. Taking a look now at what's going on in Memphis. The Grizzlies hosted the Houston Rockets, and the Grizzlies would pull off a 136-102 win. They would end up outscoring the Rockets by 18 points in the first half and then by 16 in the third. The Rockets were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, their most recent second overall draft pick, Jalen Green. He finished with 15 points in 28 minutes as he shot 6 for 13 from the field and 1 for 2 from the foul line. The Memphis Grizzlies, on the other hand, were led by their elite starting point guard, Ja Morant. He finished with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in 25 minutes. He shot 9 for 15 from the field and 4 for 6 from 3. With this win, the Memphis Grizzlies are now 7-7, and with this loss, the Houston Rockets are now 1-13. That's right; they still have only won one game this year. Taking a look at what was going on in Minneapolis, the Timberwolves of Minnesota hosted the Phoenix Suns, and the red-hot Phoenix Suns were able to beat the Timberwolves 99-96. As they were able to outscore the Timberwolves by 7 points in the middle 2 quarters. The Minnesota Timberwolves were led in scoring by their elite starting center and the birthday boy, Karl Anthony Towns, who just happened to turn 26 yesterday. Karl Anthony Towns would finish with 35 points, 13 rebounds, and 2 assists, as well as 7 turnovers in 40 minutes. He shot 10 for 19 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3, and he would shoot 10 for 11 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, D'Angelo Russell, would finish with 22 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals in 35 minutes. He shot 7 for 21 from the field and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. The Phoenix Suns on the winning end were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard, Devin Booker. He finished with 29 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 34 minutes. He shot 7 for 16 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 15 from the foul line. Their starting center, former number 1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, finished with 22 points and 12 rebounds in 33 minutes. He shot 10 for 14 from the field, 2 for 3 from the foul line as well. Their elite starting point guard, Chris Paul, would finish with 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists in 34 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the Phoenix Suns are now 10-3. With this loss, the Minnesota Timberwolves are now 4-9 on the season. Taking a look now at what's going on in Oklahoma City, the Thunder hosted the surging hot Miami Heat. The Heat would end up beating the OKC Thunder 103-90 as the Heat outscored the Thunder by 13 points in the second half, which would be the difference in this game. The Thunder would be led in scoring by their starting small forward, Luguentz Dort, who finished with 20 points in 31 minutes. He shot 8 for 16 from the field and 4 for 8 from 3. On the winning end of this matchup, the Miami Heat were led in scoring by their starting guard, Tyler Hero. He finished with 26 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals, as well as 6 turnovers in 37 minutes. He shot 9 for 18 from the field, 5 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard, Duncan Robinson, would finish with 21 points in 32 32 minutes as he shot 8 for 15 from the field and 5 for 12 from three. Their elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, would finish with 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 11 assists in 33 minutes. He shot 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from three, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the playoffs. Or from 2 for 2 from the foul line, sorry. With this win, the Miami Heat are now 9-5. With this loss, the Oklahoma City Thunder are now 5-8. Taking a quick look of what's going on in Oregon, the Portland Trailblazers hosted the Toronto Raptors, and the Trailblazers would end up beating the Raptors 118-113, winning the game by 5 as both teams came into the fourth quarter tied up. Looking at the losing end of this matchup, the Raptors were led in scoring by their starting small forward, OG Anunoby. He finished with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals in 41 minutes. He shot 9 for 19 from the field, 6 for 10 from three, and he shot 5 for 6 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in 39 minutes. He shot 7 for 15 from the field, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. The Portland Trailblazers were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, CJ McCollum. He finished with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 40 minutes. He shot 11 for 18 from the field, 6 for 11 from three, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, Damian Lillard, finished with 24 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals in 40 minutes. He shot 10 for 21 from the field, 3 for 6 from three, and he made his only free throw attempt of the night. With this win, the Portland Trailblazers are 7-8, and with this loss, the Toronto Raptors are also 7-8. Last but not least, taking a look at what went down in the Staples Center, the Los Angeles Lakers hosted the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls would end up beating the Lakers in Staples 121-103. They outscored the Lakers by 8 in the first and by 12 in the third. And on the losing end of this matchup, the Los Angeles Lakers were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Talen Horton-Tucker. He finished with 28 points and 6 rebounds in 37 minutes. He shot 9 for 19 from the field, 4 for 9 from three, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard out of UCLA, Russell Westbrook, finished with 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists in 31 minutes. He shot 8 for 19 from the field and 9 for 10 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward, Anthony Davis, finished with 20 points and 6 rebounds in 28 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the field and 8 for 9 from the foul line. The Chicago Bulls were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Lonzo Ball. They were led by their starting small forward, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan finished with 38 points and 6 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 15 for 23 from the field, 2 for 5 from three, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. Lonzo Ball out of UCLA finished with 27 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals in 38 minutes. He shot 10 for 13 from the field and 7 for 10 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard, former All-Star out of UCLA, Zach LaVine, finished with 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 34 minutes. He shot 10 for 22 from the field and 6 for 13 from the foul line. With this win, the Chicago Bulls are now 10-4, and with this loss, the Los Angeles Lakers are now 8-7. Right now, that is what the NBA is looking like following yesterday's matchups, and taking a quick look at what international soccer is looking like as soccer teams are still qualifying for the World Cup. Italy drew with Northern Ireland, which means they don't automatically make it through, so it'll be very tough for them. England was able to beat San Marino 10-0 as 4 of their goals came from their elite striker, Harry Kane. Additionally, Switzerland was able to beat Bulgaria 4-0 at home as well. And that's virtually everything that's going on there for World Cup. And with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 24 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well. And once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done, I will come back tomorrow on Wednesday, November 17th for another episode of The Elite. So until then, thanks for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you with more tomorrow.